Peer observation is a very important step of a teacher's development pathway. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 steps to conduct good peer observations, but only after you click to subscribe to this channel. Now that you've subscribed, let's go. Hello exam seekers, I'm Patty and today I'm talking about steps to conduct peer observations. In many teaching development courses, teachers are required to conduct some peer observations. That is, teachers are supposed to watch their peers' classes, paying close attention to specific aspects and making notes of situations that occur. At first, you might not understand why you're doing the peer observations, since most people who take the CELTA, the ICELT, or other teaching development courses are teachers already, and most have been inside of a classroom teaching for a long time. Moreover, there is the fact that we, as teachers, don't have much time to do some peer observations, since we have so many classes to teach, so many lessons to prepare, so many tests to correct, and so on. But you have to keep in mind that these courses are all about evolving, developing as a teacher, and watching your peers' classes will help you develop your skills. Being in the classroom as an observer opens up a range of experiences and processes which can become part of the raw material of a teacher's professional growth. According to Classroom Observation Tasks, a resource book for languages, teachers, and trainers, Wainwright, Ruth 1996, when we teach, we are often so absorbed in the purpose, procedure, and logistic of our lesson that we are not able to observe processes of learning and interaction as they occur through the lesson. Being an observer in the classroom rather than the teacher releases us from these concerns and affords us the freedom to look at the lesson from a range of different perspectives outside that of the actual lesson plan of the teacher. This topic is a bit long, that is why I'm going to divide it into some parts. And today, I'm going to go through some steps on how to conduct peer observations, before, during, and after. Before going through all the steps, let me just remind you that there are a couple of types of peer observations. One of them is the same as the CELTA course peer observation, in which you observe another CELTee. The other is like the ICELT course, in which observations were not necessarily focused on watching your course peers, but your peers in your real life. When you observe your CELTA peers, they know the purpose of you being there. Meanwhile, your peers in your regular school settings will not understand why you are watching their classes. Classroom observations are not always a welcome intrusion for the classroom teachers involved, and the observed teacher is often too serious, thinking that he will be judged at all times by you. So I came up with a few easy steps to take and make this situation easy. So, there are 6 steps to go through before actually observing the lesson, then 2 steps while observing the lesson, and finally 3 steps after watching your peers' lessons. Let's start with before. First, visit levels you are interested in, either because you have taught them or because you teach them and want to learn more about them. Second, once you choose to talk to the teacher, explain to him or her that you are taking a course which demands you to watch other people's classes and analyze them according to some points. Add that you are not going to judge them or report them to the coordinator or something like that. Make it clear to the teachers you are visiting that this is a learning experience for you. And the report you will write will focus on what you learned from observing the lessons, and that there will be no names involved whatsoever. Third, after having talked to the teacher, which should be a month's notice if possible, give him or her another notice a couple of classes before. Ask your colleague in advance if you may visit his or her lesson and that you will be ready to discuss it with them if they wish, in a friendly fashion way. Fourth, once you are done with that, choose if you are going to make it on a piece of paper or straight to your laptop. So get to the class a couple of minutes earlier and get settled. Set your computer or piece of paper on a separate desk, which you will know that you will not impede the class to happen, nor will disrupt or disturb the teacher in the lesson. Take this opportunity to talk to the teacher and get some information about the group, since you are probably required to provide a group profile. Fifth, make sure you know what you're going to observe. When you are taking these courses, you have to focus. It is like working with a microscope and looking at one thing at a time. So make sure of what you're going to observe and print the correct paper notes or leave the correct files open on your laptop. 6. Have in mind that you are an intruder in someone else's class. Therefore, the classroom teacher should introduce you and clearly state the purpose of your visit, so that the students are not caught out of guard or get tense during the class. If a student in the class asks you a direct question, for example, "Are you a teacher too? Are you here to test us?" you should answer as briefly as possible. Visitors should not initiate or pursue conversations unnecessarily. Now, let's get the steps for during. 7. Get your notes ready and start writing them down. Trying to see a lesson as a whole can be an enjoyable experience now and again, but focus on what you are observing. Make as many notes as you can before converting them into coherent text. 8. As a visitor to the class, you should be as unobtrusive as possible. Now, let's see some after steps. 9. Thank the teacher and the students. Tell the teacher that when your notes are ready, they will be available for them if they want to see it. 10th, sit down at a quiet place and do the rationale about the lesson, filling all the template. 11th, some courses demand proof of these visits, so have them prepared. However, some centers require you to sign some papers saying that you actually did the visits, and they attest that. And 12th, make sure everything is okay and send it to your tutor. Remember that the aim is to learn from observing and to reflect on our own practice. So make sure the peer observations dates are spread out so that you can observe and rationalize about it. Between observations, you can reflect on your own teaching and evolve by avoiding making the mistakes you've already watched. Sometimes, after this rationale, you may think it is necessary to talk to your peer. So, if you feel that it's necessary to talk to the observed teacher, giving him or her feedback, feel free to do that. But remember to be, nice. Well, in my next videos on the subject, I will mention ways to facilitate that talk and how to fill in the templates more interestingly and relevantly. But if you have questions about the steps I've talked so far, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Well, I hope that this content was useful for you. And if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to like and share this video with the others so that more and more teachers can get this content. Alright? Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching me and see you next time. Remember that knowledge is never enough. And observing your peers' lessons is also good for you. Bye bye. You observe of course, peer observation. Peer observation. 7. Interestingly, and well, that was hard because they're doing something, my neighbors. Bye bye.